Hey, what's up, everybody? Tony with Lido Loca, and if I have learned anything in 2020, it is that people that are not a part of that cruise life, they probably don't understand that cruise life. And nowhere has it been more apparent than in the conversation around why are people still booking cruises. Cancellations have happened month after month, but what we see is that people who've had their cruise canceled, they rebook more cruises. Why are they doing that? Honestly, I'm a little disappointed with people who take the time out of their day to disparage people who are booking cruises. Everybody has to make their own decision. Everybody has a lot of different motivations, and to assume someone's intelligence or to assume someone's motivation is way off the mark. It seems we would be better served with understanding than name calling and belittlement, but it's a crazy time, and we've seen a lot of that. So hopefully to help clear it up, to give some education to those on the outside looking in, I have 5 reasons why people are still booking cruises in the middle of the shutdown, in the middle of the pandemic. 5 reasons why people are still booking cruises. Now, reason number 1 takes us back to the beginning of the cruise shutdown. You got to remember, nobody really knew what they were dealing with, and when cruises started canceling in March and April, they were only canceling for 30 days at a time. They were only canceling for 60 days at a time, and a lot of people anticipated that we would get through this whole virus experience in a quarter, in 90 days, in not a long period of time. I don't think anybody anticipated that there would be almost 1 year of no cruising in the United States, all the way back in March and April. So when you saw the cancellations in March and April, most of the people rebooked. It made sense. People assumed that by the summer of 2020, we would be cruising again. And so a lot of the rebooking that happened at the beginning of the pandemic was really just based on this isn't going to last this long. I certainly did not think that the shutdown would go on this long. Before the pandemic, I made the commitment that I was going to be a part of this cruise life, that I would try to be a voice in that cruise life. I certainly appreciate everyone out there who listens to me, who gives me the opportunity to speak into that cruise life, and I enjoy it. I love it. I put stuff on hold to be a YouTuber. I was working on my doctorate degree with the goal of being a teacher and a leader from ages 50 to 70. That's my 50 to 70 plan, where I would teach and I would write and I would influence, and I put it all on hold to be a YouTuber. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's how much I love the cruise life once I got jacked into it. And honestly, there's days where I wake up and go, okay, maybe it's time to jump back into that school program. Maybe it's time to pivot and to shift. But I'm not ready to give up on that cruise life yet. And I don't think you guys are ready to give up on that cruise life yet either. And so I will keep plugging away. And one way I plug away is to invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Here's that opportunity. Please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. Now on to the next item on the list. The second reason that people are still rebooking is it's normal. This is going to be one that people struggle with. The way that the cruise business works is you line up a bunch of cruises that are going to happen sometime in the future. You put your money down, you pay it off. A lot of people don't even pay it off along the way. They just wait until their final payment date, and then they pay the cruise off, and then they go cruising. Honestly, that experience isn't that drastically different during the cruise shutdown. Now, a lot of people have had multiple cruises canceled. That's kind of abnormal, but the idea that you are paying money now for something that you will receive in the future is not that strange to cruisers. And so, yeah, I was waiting to go on a cruise that got canceled. I already paid some money. Let me just use that money again for a cruise that's going to happen some other time. It's the same experience for me, and I've already got that money invested. So the concept of the cruise line taking your money today for a cruise that you will take sometime in the future, it's not that abnormal. It's the way it happened before the pandemic. It's the way it's happening during the pandemic. It's the way it will happen after the pandemic. And so people that are part of that cruise life, it's normal. There is that question, is the cruise line enticing me to book a cruise that they know will be canceled? People have to wrestle with that. But that base level transaction that cruisers are familiar with, I give you money now, I go on a cruise later, that's still in place. And I do believe that's why you see a lot of people continuing to rebook even in the face of cancellations. The The third reason that I've seen a lot of people rebook their cruises is the enticement of bonuses. I've seen people say, I don't think this cruise that I'm about to book is even going to go, but I anticipate if this cruise is canceled based on things that have happened historically, I will get some sort of bonus. I will get an extra onboard credit. I will get a multiplier on my future cruise credit. And they're betting on the idea that whatever they're given as an incentive will be more valuable than just getting their money back. It's a dicey game. A lot of us anticipate that cruising is going to be more expensive in the future, and so it's possible that the bonuses that you're gaining from rebooking your cruise or from gambling on rebooking your cruise may be wiped out by higher prices. But there is a segment of that cruise life population that are they're risking it for the biscuit, that believe that they can come out ahead by playing this game of future cruise credit and additional OBC. And there's success stories out there. I'm sure there's people that might get burned in this process, but there are success stories out there. And so I think you have a decent segment of returning cruisers who are booking cruises based on this idea of a bonus, of an enticement of a bonus. Number 4 on my list, and I've heard this in the comments and in conversation, there are people that are loyal to the cruise industry, and they believe that the way that they can do their part is to continue keeping their money with the cruise industry. They recognize that this is an unprecedented time, an unanticipated time, event outside the control of the cruise industry's hands, and they don't want to penalize them for suffering from an event that they had nothing to do with, and they see that the best way that they can be loyal to the industry, to that cruise life, to the thing that they love, is to keep their money in play with the cruise industry, regardless of how they use it, when they use it. They still have that idea that I paid money, at some point I'll go on a cruise, and if it's helpful to the cruise company, if it's helpful to the cruise industry for me to keep my money in play, then I'm happy to do it as a good citizen of that cruise life. I appreciate that too. It's that loyal customer base that will keep the cruise industry moving forward, and they'll do it with their money. And there's a lot of people out there making their booking decisions with the loyalty contract in mind with the cruise business. And the last one on my list is hope. I don't think anybody would argue that the last 10, 11 months have been a stressful time for many people with everything that's going on. And it's an uncertain time. One thing that human beings don't really like is lack of control or uncertainty. And so there is a hope component when it comes to rebooking a cruise. If you have a cruise set out at a future date, that is a date that you are looking forward to, a date that you can actually make it to, and something positive can happen in your life. Contrarily, if you don't have any cruises to book, there is no date on the calendar that you are looking forward to. It's uncertainty stacked on top of uncertainty. If you don't have a cruise booked, you're uncertain when you're going to cruise again in an uncertain time, and that can be emotionally distressful. In addition to being emotionally distressful, you feel disconnected from that cruise life that you love, and it can be challenging mentally. It is not unusual for cruisers to have 4 cruises booked, 5 cruises booked. There's cruisers that have 10 cruises or more booked. That is not unusual. And now if you wipe the board, people that were looking to those 5 cruises, those 10 cruises, now they have nothing to look forward to, and it makes an already desperate situation seem even more hopeless. I sincerely believe that one of the reasons that people book these cruises is to hold on to the hope of a time when things are better, to add a little certainty in a mass of uncertainty. And so, yeah, hope. An odd one on the list, but I do believe that people are using that cruise life as a way to hold on to hope in a desperate time. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. Please show your support by hitting the like button. This is Tony with Lido Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.